to take the additional dollars that we've been getting from the state capital. We've been able to take the additional dollars, frankly, we've been getting from the local property taxpayers, and we've been able to, uh, change the trajectory of our kids. Our kids, well, we know that 75% of our kids live at or below the rate of poverty. We know that the only way out of poverty is with a good education. So we have focused in like a laser on seeing what we can do to get our kids better prepared for secondary education. We've come a long way. That doesn't mean we don't have a lot more work to do, because we do. And I think that that's a story that has to be told nationally. And but we are moving forward. We also want to make sure that our kids are in a safe environment. We've invested over $300 million in infrastructure needs for our schools. We're building a new school, Justice Sonia Sotomayor School. We're building a new school for the arts, we talked about, with the studios. And we also want to make sure our kids are safe. And one of the things that we just announced was the installation of of cameras on school buses, because frankly, too many people pass school buses every single day in the streets of Yonkers, and we had to do something about it. And one way to do something about it was to ask for permission from New York State so we could put cameras on our school buses. This year, uh, there are 250 cameras that have been mounted to the side of our school buses. By next year, there'll be 500 of them, and it will, if you pass the school bus, it will generate a ticket, and you'll get that in the mail. You won't get any points in your license or anything like that, but you will get a ticket and a reminder that certainly you need to be more careful when you're traveling about the city. Your Yonkers is 25,000 kids just in our public schools, not to mention our private schools that walk the streets every day, get on school buses every day, and we want to make sure that they're protected. And this is one way to do that.
In terms of how the Yonkers police are doing.
Yonkers Police, we have a real good department,
Mm-hmm.
and I really think that the people believe that. I really think that I think that across the board, um, the people are very confident about their police department, and they should be. And let me tell you why. While we reformed our police department, and we did, uh, we reformed our police department, we were able to reduce crime overall. Even in today's crazy world with bail reform and everything else that's going on, we're still doing better than other communities. We're still the safest city of our size in New York. And so our police department is very, very proactive and fighting crime. At the same time, they are very much cooperating and communicating with the public. And we do some things that some people might call it silly. You do stop and shake, coffee with a cop, pizza with the police. We send our police officers out to all of our community meetings. We sent them out to the community precincts. We send them out to our schools. There is a real effort on the part of our police department to grab our public and communicate with them, because communication is a two-way street. And generally, what happens with our police department is that people will have communication with the police department, which is generally not good, because why did they go there, right? They went there because there was an incident, or they went there because they had to write a ticket, or they went there to enforce the law. We're doing more than just that. They're seeing the public, and they're learning uh, who they are and what their needs are. And when police officers drive down the streets of Yonkers, they don't drive down the street with blinders on. They drive down the streets uh, and they proactively try to enhance the quality of life of the people that live in our city. And I think the city sees that, and I think that the police officers feel that. They feel the love, and that type of synergy is what makes the world go around. And we like that here in Yonkers.
Talk about your Talk about your work relationship with the Yonkers City Council.
I have a really good relationship with the Yonkers City Council. We have a very, very bright, hard-working city council here in Yonkers, and we're very fortunate to have that. I've worked with some legislatures before that have not been as easy, but this is a good, solid group of working men and women. And when I use the word easy, I probably shouldn't use that word because sometimes they're not very easy on me. But I know that at the end of the day, uh, they're going to uh, think about our approach. If they like my approach, they can be supportive. If they don't, they may offer an alternative. But what I like about it is that whether it's my approach or their approach or some variant of approaches, um, it's really about what's good for Yonkers, and there we're 100% in sync.
Oh, great! That's good because I remember years ago. Sometimes it wasn't like that.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right? It's
many
really
years. What's
it's nice to
your
see this change.
true? Yes. What's your sense of been all these years being mayor? In terms of how the city has changed or gotten better. How the city has changed or gotten better since you become
What
mayor.
I love about it is I always believed in Yonkers. I mean,
Hmm.
it was just the way I was born and raised, right? It was, like I said, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, we came here. This was a city of gracious living. We wanted to be here. My grandfather was an Italian immigrant. Was an ice and coal guy who would, deliver ice and coal on the streets of Hawthorne Avenue, Riverdale Avenue, Southborough Way. He was right here in South Yonkers. That he would take his ice cart, which then became a horse and buggy, which then became a kerosene truck, and then became an oil truck. And so they continued that tradition for a long, long time. I think close to I think it was over 75 years they were in business and delivering fuel oil, ice and coal, and heating contracting, putting people's heating equipment. That's the type of service that my grandfather and my father were involved in. And, I think it was what really best prepared us for politics because they were involved in people's everyday lives. And how can we comfort you? How can we make your life better? How can we, there were times that my grandfather would say, so and so family's going through a rough time. They can't pay their bill this month, but we'll work something out. But my point is, it was that type of customer service with people that I think trained us to be able to do that more effectively with the residents of our city. Because at the end of the day, the taxpayers are customers as well, and
Sure.
and they provide, and uh, they're looking for service. They want to make sure that they're getting what their taxpayers um, should expect.
Going forward in terms of the future and everything, where do you see Yonkers in the future?
Like I said, Yonkers will continue to grow, prosper. Uh, we're going to catapult into. I really think that we will be the elite city in New York State. We are certainly the city that many developers all see as the place to come and build the future. We hope that it's not just uh, the film industry coming to Yonkers and MGM, but we're hoping that other industries would see Yonkers as a place to come, as a destination. But I think that when when you have the ground support and the good foundation that's been in place over the past few years, it will continue to build upon itself. And as long as we can get these studios up and running, which I fully expect that we will, because we are, and we can get Yonkers Raceway going, I think other things will happen. There's other things being talked about all the time. Lots of things I can't even talk about that are being talked about all the time, and it's exciting to know that we have so much potential. And but it is time for Yonkers to really fulfill its own destiny because the city has always had that greatest potential. But for some reason, there was always a reason why it didn't happen. There's no reason for it not to happen now.
In our closing moments here on this interview, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Um, no, just another thing, other areas, we're building parks.
Mhm.
Our kids, especially the kids in South Yonkers, don't have enough open space. We purchased the old Terracone tank yard at the foot of Lemo Street. Soon those buses will be gone, and it'll be a 2 to 3 acre park where our kids will have direct access to the Hudson River. Something I didn't have, and you didn't have growing up, but well, our kids will have it. We've expanded our parks. We put a new terrace park up on Warburton Avenue. We have added and expanded our parks because our open space is important. We have repaired our parks and put a tremendous amount of resources into the parks thanks to the city council. Tens of millions of dollars have been invested in upgrading our parks, especially the parks on the west side. Frankly, those parks were in complete disrepair and need a lot of work. Sustainability has also been huge for us, and we early on we changed all of our street lights from that old orange lighting to the now white, much more efficient lighting, where it's 90% more efficient. They're 20-year shelf lives, and they're much healthier because it's white light. We are also reducing our carbon footprint by not just installing those lights, but upgrading every one of our city buildings. And of course, we just got a federal grant to plant a whole bunch of trees, especially in the red-lined areas of our city where you know our community, especially the black and brown communities, have suffered the most, and we are going to be able to make a greater investment in those communities so that again our kids can have a better quality of life.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show, Mayor. I really appreciate always great interview. Always great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. And thank you for listening, everyone, on the Yonkers Inside Report. I'm publisher Delfim Heusler. Until next time, have a great day.